Dr. Folefac, the president of GBHS Fontem Edumd, reacts to the voices of members after his first appearance on GASA Media.
So I listened to quite a few people, Dr. Aroke from the first batch, Professor Gesem Eugene, the second batch, from NGA, the fifth batch, Mr. Fochap from my third batch. I think there was also Julius, was it Nyaung Julius, Mr. Zit from the fourth batch. And I believe more recently there is Mr. Mofo Zigo.
He endorses the proposal set forth by the different batches, but said he needs to have a cross meeting with the representatives of each batch. This is 10 minutes on GASA Media with Ernest Kumba.
Welcome to this week edition of GASA Media. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ernest. Last time, the president of Grammar School Student Alumina appeared on GASA Media and earmarked or give a broad screen of what he want to, the direction in which he want to champion the organization. After that appearance, as we have seen and watched, many members or students of that same institution has appeared on GASA Media and react to his presentation. Today, I will be welcoming the president again, Dr. Folefac. We are probably to go over some of the reaction that we have so far received from our member. Mr. President, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Ernest and Kezat.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. As you heard on my introduction, last time when you were here, it was a privilege. At least you spoke so well, and for that reason, to me, it seemed like many people now were on board with the idea of batch by batch approach to galvanize the Student Association of GBHS Fontem. So far, I hope you have listened to. So far, what is your reaction based on what we have seen so far?
It's been quite exciting, and to really see that you guys again have actually championed this course and really have popularized our activities and brought the a new direction to the media coverage of our organization. So I listened to quite a few people, Dr. Aroke from the first batch, Professor Gesem Eugene, the second batch from NGA, Israel Hennes from I believe that is the fourth, or not, probably the fifth batch or so. And then I listened to Mr. Fochap from my third batch. And then there was a very recently, I think there was also Julius, was it Nyaung Julius, Mr. Zit from the fourth batch. And I believe more recently there is one other person who has come in, and it's quite exciting to see that we can do this. And I hope that more batches will come along, and hopefully as we do it, we would be able to reconnect and figure out a better way of rebuilding grammar school when the time comes. Thank you.
President, thank you. It appears you are really following the track. I hear you enumerating every person. I'm glad that you seem to be on track with all the presenter. Let me play a recording voice for one of the presenter. I think he's of the 11th batch, where he aired out and was calling on the leadership to come up with something he called the award winner goal. So let's just listen to him for a moment.
For a school like GBHS Fontem that has existed for like 40 years, we were supposed to already have a very strong association, but it's never too late to build. So we should start now. One of the best ways to do this is to come up with award-winning goals, what I call award-winning goals, goals and objectives of the association to attract members, show them that we have these goals and we intend to achieve these goals.
Okay, yeah, you heard from me. You say coming up with some objectives and some goals and showing that you have to achieve this goal. Is this something that you think you can do?
Absolutely. We were already in the process of doing that, and as I mentioned the last time, I think the moral disorder that is currently going on in our land really monkey wrench a lot of our activities. For instance, you know, we at the school itself, at the our alma mater itself. That's where a lot of our focus was actually addressed. Directed at the time. By then, we had already started revamping the library, bought so many books. We had established a scholarship scheme, and that scholarship scheme was just not based on was just not only for the best students. There were several categories there. We were in the process of building a big building replete with solar panel, and also that building had to have one section as the library and one section as the IT section, so that the students there would have an uninterrupted supply of electricity, and then have books. And then we were into process of building, water supply, and then VIP latrines. And then a lot of the other things that we had talked about, which were more aspirational goals, were to be able to eventually get that school to be self-sufficient by exploring the land that school is built on, to really help with, generate income-generating activities like racing, some animal racing there, or poultry, or things like that, vegetable farming and stuff, which the students could sell and generate money that would go into the student cooperative, and that money can then be used to help the students. So there were a lot of these things that we do. And then one final thing that I would mention about that, just the alma maters, we're still concentrating on it, was this idea of coming up with a website. And that website would allow for a lot of the former students who have graduated and have into various disciplines, physics, math, chemistry, and so forth and so on, to really be able to look at the curriculum. They get some lectures that they can break it down and get some of the GCE papers and break it down, answer them in different directions. So we can create that website where it would act like a treasure trove for students who are a little bit, who couldn't really follow the teacher, so that if the teacher is using one method and then the teacher is comfortable and the students are comfortable with another method, they could go back there and they will act both like a resource for both the students and the teachers. So there's a lot that we can do, and there is too much more that we are thinking about. And my ultimate goal is to create an endowment fund for that school. And if you think about what they call an endowment fund here, it's a pool of money that will be generating interest. That money would allow for students who are poor to actually go into that endowment fund, take some loan. Some will be grants, and then they can use those that take a loan. They would then be able to pay back over time. Those that take a grant, and is determined by the various parameters that will eventually set up, those ones would just have a grant because they don't have a means to pay back. I personally believe that there is no better investment than in education. And one day, I mean this very seriously, we would make grammar school the the mountain, the shiny object on the mountain hill, and that's going to be the best students, the best school in that land, bar none. You can mark my words for it, and I'm depending on all of you guys.
Okay, so you are saying that what the representative from the 11 batch said about the award-winning goal was a good one.
Yes, no, what Mr. Mofo Zigo really said is quite a very, very important point. And it's always good that the young people bring in more energetic blood and give us a lot of these good ideas. And they really just make us better. And so I really congratulate you.
Mr. President, talking about raising money or raising fund, I think His Royal Highness Funga also mentioned about you pulling those that are already existing. Let's just listen to what he said.
My advice would be that, for the few batches that have already been created, Dr. Edmund could just, start talking to them. Like our batch, we raise funds online and support our members. We have supported our teacher who fell sick and needed assistance. One of us just went and discovered him and came and explained to us in the group, and we raised some money for him.
Okay, I think what he's saying is, those that are already created. So my question to you would be, if this is a good idea, are you already contacting and talking to some of these batches, leadership? If yes, which ones?
Not as much as we would like to do yet. I've reached out to the which batch is Philobelin. I lost track of the batches, but I've spoken to your batch. I've been to your batch. I've come to, attended your own, address your own batch. I've addressed Philobert's batch. And some of the batches are really forming now. And I just got to know that the fourth batch had formed for 1J's batch, for instance, and I will reach out to them. We were still using before Corona hit, and actually, kind of like push all of us into the social media era faster than we had thought. We were still using the traditional approach. And that traditional approach meant that we were holding conventions and then raising funds at each one of those conventions. One was held right here in Ohio, one was held in DC, one was held in Boston. Each one of those conventions was raising tons of money, about $12,000 on average. That will go till about 6 million francs or CFA thereabout. So yes, we would do more by reaching out to these people. I just encourage that more batches are formed. But I would also need to actually say that there should be champions in these different batches. So they don't really need to, these champions in these different batches allow us to be able to communicate with the champions who will then go back to their different batches to amplify the message. So we'll do that. And one last thing, I really want us to actually say some very brilliant ideas like that. One of the things I want to encourage GASA Media to do is to bring all the leadership of the different batches in one of these forums like this. Let's have a roundtable discussion. That would allow us, to be able to share these ideas on this platform, on this wonderful platform.
I think, yes, I think, Dr. Emo, what you are saying, indirectly, you are inviting, I think, every member of any of the batch or the leadership of those batches or their representative, if they are listening to us now, the president is asking that they should come to GASA Media, then we can organize a roundtable discussion with those leadership while moving forward. Dr. Emo, before you go, let me ask you this question. I know you are the president, there's so much that at stake, then there's so much activity that seems to be going on. If I may ask you, who are you working with? Or if I may say your executive, what position are there? We don't even know. Many people seem not to know.
Again, I think it would really, that was going to be my next line of thought, that I'm asking you to do me two favors on this media. Let's bring the executive, let's bring the entire executive, number one. Edwin Aroke, Dr. Edwin Aroke, Dr. Bebo Bernard, Mr. Fred Otto, Dr. John Folefac, Mr. even Dr. Professor Ngezem Eugene as an advisor, and so on. So we have quite a number of people who are actually there doing the wonderful job for the community. And as I said, COVID really made us tall, and that's really something that it's really hurt us. But we would eventually, now that we have figured out that the world doesn't stop with COVID and we have to go on social media, we have to use this platform that you guys have offered us to be able to get the message out there and start doing some of the incredible things, including fundraising like the one that Fongonje was mentioning.
Yeah, okay, President, thank you. I think if all the members listening to you right now, you are calling on all the executive as well, they should reach to GASA Media, then from there we'll be able to set up an appropriate time where they can come and maybe discuss some of the issues that you are trying to outline here. Somebody was responding, I cannot recall, in one of your, after your presentation, was talking about the 40 years anniversary for grammar school or GBHS Fontem, that it has been 40 years since the creation, or next year will be 40 years. Do you have any project or any kind of form of activity that you think you may say to our viewers?
That should have come from Professor Ben Bazeju.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So and Prof. Ben would have done that because we were again, we had planned this all along. The idea was that that building that I just mentioned was going to be inaugurated on that day. So that was the grand plan, that we were going to celebrate the 40th anniversary of grammar school at 2021. That's next year in grammar school itself. And that that was going to be the day that we inaugurate the grand building that I'm talking about, and which would also allow us to take stocks and then interact with the people back at home in a way, so we can actually see things, hear some of the things directly from them, because sometimes you're sitting out here and some of the projects that you're thinking about may not really be the projects that they really want, or maybe have take priority, even though all the projects that we have conceived, we had listened to them. But it is a very different thing having somebody talking to somebody on the phone and sitting right there and listening to people. So now that COVID is here, what we're going to do, I hope we're going to decide as an institution how we want to do. We can get some social media celebration and think about what we want to do and use that as an opportunity to take the Alumni Association to the higher heights, to the heights that we really want to see it go.
Thank you, Mr. President. Probably we have come to the end of this interview because of the time constraint. I will let you go. I know you have so many activities. Please, dear viewer, as you have listened to the President General for GBHS Fontem student, is trying to galvanize, he's still calling on people to come on board. If this is your first time listening to us or watching us, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also share the link. Also leave your comment and click the like button so that we know exactly how we are doing. Until then, we'll see you next time.